Hi guys, I'm Amber.
And I'm Brandy.
And we are so glad that you're here to talk to us about being beautiful, beloved. We're in Brandy's beautiful house.
This is my house. Isn't it cute? I don't take credit for any of it. My mom decorated the whole thing.
But it's still, does not take away from the beauty.
It's still adorable.
Yes.
Full of life, words of life everywhere. That's my
Which
favorite
is Brandy's
thing.
thing. Yes. And so we just wanted to touch base with you right now. We're in the Advent season. And we want to talk to you about what it is to be in Advent, to be in waiting for things. Advent is when leading up to the coming of Christ, so when we're in the waiting season. And, the Israelites waited for...
We think 400
years. We didn't look it up.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure.
About 400 from the Promised Land.
Right.
So they waited and waited these 40 years to get into the Promised Land. They received their promise. And then 400 years until the Messiah came.
Right, and they heard from prophet after prophet after prophet saying a Messiah was coming.
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
But generations never saw it to fruition. And so Advent is a season of celebrating that wait. Obviously 1 month is nothing compared to 400 years, but that's what it is. And so we were talking about things that we are waiting for and things that you might be waiting for, and how this season kind of brings all those things that we are in wait for.
It heightens it. Kind of awakens the longing. And that Advent, we're talking about the longing of Christ. And so we sing songs like "Oh Holy Night," which is the best song on the face of the planet. I'm 100% sure of this.
I'm not sure that anybody would disagree with you.
Yeah. And that a weary world rejoices. And that you're only weary if you've gone through things that make you weary.
And there's been a time, not just a little bit of time, but a
weary. That's more
time.
Than I'm a little bit sleepy. I'm soul deep weary. A weary world rejoices. And that when he appears and the soul felt its worth. And so the coming of Christ is that idea of the fulfillment of promises. Yeah. And so many of us, our longings are awakened over Advent, over the entire Christmas season. Most people's kind of soul deep longings a lot of times have to do with having a family. If you're single, being married is a longing that's certainly awakened in all the Christmas movie ridiculous. Every Christmas miracle is like, oh, look, I found a husband. I'm not bitter about that. I said that really rudely. Or of having a great family or a marriage restored if you're struggling. It might be about having a baby if you're struggling with infertility, or you're single still and you long to be a mama or a dad. Some guys watch these videos, right? It might be about restoring family. Your family system is dysfunctional and you wish you got to sit down. Yeah, or your parents even. Yeah. Like whatever it is, this season brings up the longing. And so then we're left with the question of, what do I do with that longing? Because what we really want to do is we want to stuff it. We want to ignore it. And honestly, we don't really do a great job of waiting within the church.
You don't want to talk to somebody.
It's like, oh, you're fine.
Be like, well, this is really hard because I'm really waiting for this to happen. Because people don't know what to say to you.
No, and it's, let Jesus be your boyfriend.
And it can be awkward, and people say, oh, his timing is not our timing.
You have all these spiritual children.
All these things that are true, but they don't take away from your longing, and they don't help you carry the weight of what it is to long for something.
That there's something holy about longing. Yeah. And so when we come to you, we are not coming to say, well, if you do these 3 things, then it's not going to hurt anymore. Because honestly, we believe it hurts, and it hurts a lot during this season.
And
it's hard to be single over Christmas. It's hard. I want somebody to snuggle up on the couch with, and I have to look at this comfy couch I have, and a fireplace, and it's hard. Thank you. She always will. It's not the same. So close. So close. Making out with you is not.
No.
And so one of the things we come to you is just to say that there is holiness in the weight, there's holiness in the weariness, and there's holiness in the clinging to the promise. So our only real pieces of advice today are, A, we're with you. Like, we are experiencing the weight with you. We're longing, we're hurting. But then the second thing is that through those 400 years, what we talked about a minute ago, is that over and over and over again, the prophets came and they said, the Messiah is coming, the Messiah is coming, the Messiah is coming. Cling to the promise. Yes. His promises are true. His promises are true.
And we don't want to give you like a bunch of platitudes to get you through this, but he says that what he begins in you, he is faithful to complete. Mm-hmm. So if he has stirred a longing inside of you, it is for a reason, and there will be a completion of that in you. Yeah. And like
we can't tell you what that promise is. Like, I can't promise you that you'll be married. I can't promise you you'll have a kid. Right. But you and Jesus can get together and you can listen to his specific promises for you. I do believe, and then we can cling to this promise. So I believe that God has promised me like a beautiful, holy marriage where I am loved and loved well. And I believe that is coming. And so I don't need to push aside my longings. I need to go, okay, Jesus, is this true? Is this what you've promised me? And then I need to cling to that. And honestly, one of the things I need is I need prophets in my life that come to me and they say, like the prophets did to the people of Israel, like, it's true. I've heard the promises for you. So we need to listen for our own promises, and we need to listen for promises for others and speak that life and that hope. And so one of the things we wanted to do today is we wanted to share what our promises were. Because it's hard. Promises are really scary because,
what if it doesn't happen? That's always what's in your head is like,
right.
I want to believe, but what if that's not true? What if that's not
I don't see anything in this physical world that tells me
that this is
true.
That it's even
this is going to happen.
Right? Because God is the God of the impossible.
Yep.
And so you can look at things and think this is not possible. But we're telling you that God can do impossible things. So for me, my marriage has gone through a year of just really ultimately kind of the worst things you can imagine a marriage going through. Just incredible brokenness. And I have felt and I have known the whispers of a promise that I did not believe really until I would say a good 3 months ago, right? That not only is God going to restore my marriage, that he is working in my husband an incredible work. He is going to restore our marriage and make us better than we ever could have imagined being.
And doing an incredible work in you.
Yes, and doing an incredible healing work in me.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
And that eventually, that my husband and I could be a light on a hill for other couples, that we could share our story, and that it would bring reconciliation, and it could bring restoration, and it could bring redemption to other marriages, and that he would use us in that way. And so I believe that not only are we going to see incredible beauty from the ashes that we've been living in, but that he is going to use the brokenness and use what was just
ashes
destroyed to bring life into other places where there are ashes and there's brokenness and there's darkness, that he's going to use us as a light. And so I don't know when. It's probably years and years from now.
Right?
Hopefully that's not your
please, Jesus.
But I think ours will probably be years from now. But I want to make sure that we are both in a place where God using us is fruitful. And so I don't want to rush it. Right. I don't want it to say, okay, God, do it now, because I know I still have work. I know he still has work. I know we have work together that needs to happen. So.
And in the middle of the pain, you can, know that God is present there in your pain. Those platitudes, they are true. That in the midst of my singleness, he does come and he meets me here, and he is who I need him to be, and it's so beautiful and so holy. And so know that Jesus is present. Know that your waiting and your longing and your pain, it is true and it is real. Yes. Because even if you're going to have an amazing marriage one day, there's hard stuff to walk through now. And that knowing it's going to be awesome one day doesn't make it not hard today. Like, that's not a thing.
No.
And then to cling to the promises. Yeah. To know, like, and to remember on a daily basis, this is going to be amazing. One day I am going to see these promises fulfilled. Just like the Israelites, I will see the Messiah. I even think of Mary and how hard this pregnancy was. Like, as soon as she found out about it, her first thing is like, okay, well, now I have to divorce Joseph. Well, and now I'm a pregnant teenager who's not even married.
Right. Now I'll have no friends. Now I'll live in poverty. Yep. Now my family will reject me.
End up giving birth in a stable. There's so much crap that she walked through. It's not, the Christmas story is not all away in a manger and no crying he makes. She had to wait
30 years. I mean, Jesus was 30 years old before he really started his
major ministry. Yeah.
So, like, he's a little kid. She's like, listen, you're a good kid, but
Messiah, come on.
I'm confused still a little.
So you're waiting and you're longing. It is true and it is real. Yes. And the promises he has spoken to your spirit are true. Mm-hmm. Cling to them today. Move towards them. If there's stuff you can do to move towards them, go to therapy. That's always my advice. Go to, make an appointment with a therapist. Do the things that you can do, and then wait and trust and hope and surround yourself with people who are going to believe the truth for you.
Yes.
Because it is crucial on hard days for someone to look at me and to say, the promises are true, B. They're true. We believe them and they are coming, and it sucks right now, and that's okay because they are true. Mm. And we hope that this week in Advent, and if you don't have promises that have been whispered to your soul, maybe your Advent experience this week is to get some time with Jesus and ask him to speak some promises to you.
Yes.
Every one of us can stand to have promises about relationships, about future, about job and ministry and family and whatever it is. And then you sit in those promises, because sitting in the promises and believing the truth and having faith and trust and hope are some of the most beautiful spiritual practices that are the hardest. Mm. And maybe you practice them today. And maybe Advent and the story of Jesus coming, it sinks into your soul a little deeper, in the hard and in the beautiful and in the holy.
Amen.
Because you are worth that. Because you
are beautiful.
And you are so beloved.
And we love you and we're thankful for you. Mm-hmm. If this spoke to you and you want to talk to us about it, feel free to leave a comment here on YouTube or to message either of us on social media accounts. We'd love to talk to you about what we're talking about in these videos. Mm-hmm. If you have the app, this comes to you every Friday. And if you don't, you can also subscribe to us on YouTube. So we love you.
Happy Advent.